This is a quick lesson on Photoshop. We're going to be creating a diversity collage, and here's an example. So, a collage is just taking little bits of photos and pasting them together to form something else. What I've got here are hands using the peace sign, and it's going to spell out respect. And we've got it on a nice background. So, we need to make smart objects of the hands so that it doesn't use up a lot of memory. So this lesson is on how to make smart objects. We'll do an easy one first. Here we have a consistent background. What I'd like to do is crop it first so it uses up less memory. You just need to hit return first. Because it's a consistent color, we can use the magic wand tool. The tolerance is set to 32, which is an OK default. And all we have to do is click on this. We're not actually doing a mask for this one. We're just using the raw image. Typically, you'll get this message and we want to cancel because the background is locked. So we just say layer from background. This is done by right clicking on the lock. Click OK. And now we can hit delete. And that gives us a nice masked image. We hit Command D to deselect. Now we can shape this a little bit. We'll use the eraser. And we'll need to make the eraser a little bit bigger. And choose the non-blending brush. Okay, and we'll just smooth out the bottom here. That's good enough. Now we just need to save this file. We're going to go save as. And it needs to be a Photoshop file. And if it's not on Photoshop, please select Photoshop and just save. And if it says maximize compatibility, just click OK. Let's do a harder one, and we don't need to save this. Let's do a harder one. So Spock. Okay, first thing we do is crop. This saves a lot of memory when you crop. Okay, when you finish cropping, hit enter, or you can click on the check mark. Okay, now we need to create a mask for this. We'll just use the menu option. So layer, layer mask, reveal all. And again, we need to paint with the brush. And painting black will clear the areas that we don't want. Okay, it's not a big problem if you make a mistake because the mask is not a destructive operation. You can just paint back with white to recover our areas. And let's just smooth out the corner here. It's easier to work when the image is a little bit bigger, so we're going to zoom in. And we can now make the brush smaller to fit into the tighter areas. Leaving a little bit of the background is okay. Kind of outlines the hands. Most of this outline will disappear when we reduce the size. Okay, and it's going to look funny here, but that's okay. Now I'm going to switch to painting white. It's easier to get a smoother edge sometimes by filling it back in rather than trying to erase. Okay, and we'll just get rid of this one last bit. And again, we'll need to save this file, and we're going to save it as a Photoshop file. Again, if it's not Photoshop, just scroll to Photoshop and click Save. And maximize compatibility. And that completes this lesson.